Waiting until your 30s to have kids is responsible, not selfish. I've gotten this response a few times and it flabbergasts me every time. Right now, I'm in my mid-20s finishing my degree and building a foundation for my life. So by my logic, waiting until I'm 30 to 34 will not only give me more time to build myself, but it gives me time to build wisdom and patience for when I do have kids. But for some reason, this is dubbed selfish for the following reasons. Medical complications. Kids taking care of their old parents. Too old to enjoy their time. Monetary burden on my children. And a lot more other BS points they make. Here's the thing I don't understand. Folks will give you shit if you have kids too soon or too young, but then turn around and say it's selfish to wait that long. Don't procreate because, insert cliche BS insult here, like, as a parent, you do everything you can to make sure you can care and bond with your children. They just assume that I'm not going to keep myself on track to stay healthy and active, when really, staying in one spot and doing minimal movement is the bane of my existence. If you're not ready to have kids, mentally, financially, and situationally, don't have them. My mom birthed a pair of healthy twins, yes hello, that's me and sis, going on 35 that year. My private flute instructor had her first kid at around the same age and she gigs outside of academia. I'll take my chances. If you're not feeding, fucking, or financing me, your opinion on when I have kids is unnecessary and you can go the fuck away. Dr. Folks big mad about other people's timing on having kids. To be fair, medically speaking, younger is nearly always better. But just have kids when you're ready and to hell with the rest. Everyone is at different points in their lives at different times. Saying people who have kids in their 20s are irresponsible is just as bad as them telling you you're selfish to wait. I just don't get the vitriol that people give towards people who have kids young. Like, I get it when that person is a teenager, but I'm 26 and just had my first kid. I don't think I'm too young, I don't think I'm too old either. I'm at a good age to be able to play with the little guy and not worry about my back, and old enough to be stable. Folks be mad no matter what you decide to do. I have two at 25 and I don't blame you for wanting to wait, they're a lot to handle. Your whole life changes to revolve around them, it's definitely something you want to be prepared for. It depends, it's a fine line. You will not be in as good of physical shape to play with them, coach them, etc. Especially the younger of the siblings if you choose to have more. The grass is always greener on the other side. You will never be ready enough. It's always too early, too late. Life isn't perfect. It is responsible and unselfish to have children when you and your spouse are now ready to begin a family. There is no magical age that is universal. Be prepared to love your children, that's all they want and that's all they need. The rest will come naturally. I mean, ultimately as long as the individuals having kids are financially and emotionally responsible enough to become parents, who the hell cares? I got pregnant with my first kid at 27, born when I turned 28, and it was a perfect time in my life. I had already graduated college, lived and worked in 4 different states around the country, and traveled to Russia twice. By the time I had met my husband, I was ready to start settling down, so to speak, and we had the means to have a baby. I was done with my education, done traveling around, and it was a personal choice to begin a new chapter in my life. How about it doesn't matter what age you have kids, just be a good parent? Agreed. But someone's choice of when or if to have kids really isn't anyone else's business anyway, so I wouldn't worry about others' opinions on it. It depends. I've known plenty of mid-20-year-olds that had their shit together and had kids successfully. 34 having my first, best decision I ever made. I'm stable, have great health insurance, own my home and am mature enough to actually parent well. I hope. All my buddies who had kids in their early 20s. No education, low-paying jobs, shift work at best. Not all, but most, the decisions we make in life will affect us later in life. The trouble with life in general is that you won't know you're ready to make big decision until you realize you should have made it already. I'm 33 and I'd very much still like to have children. I'm in good shape to do so, physically and financially. My father always said being a dad was the best thing he ever did with his life. We didn't have kids until we both had degrees, careers, vehicles, and a house. It's your choice. I watched my parents have my brother when my mom was 39 and loathed the idea of doing that to myself. My dad can't do everything he was able to do with me and neither can my mom. My parents had me in their early 20s and they had the energy to anything and did a pretty good job with keeping up with me and my sister. My mom says if she had me when she had my brother, she wouldn't have been able to keep up since I was such a high energy baby and kid. For me, I had kids in my early 20s. My kids are like me when I was little, high energy and just a handful. I can work full-time, go to school and play and teach my kids, with the help of my husband who is also young. We do well financially despite us being young. My husband was born to parents that were 38 too, and his mother died at 15 while his dad does when he was 20. They died young, yes, but I'm glad I have a better shot seeing my kids grow up than my parents do with my brother. There are pros and cons to everything you do, and it should be a personal choice when to have kids.